Welcome to the Just Jim Radio Show. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I'll say in my classes at times, I will do this by myself, but it's so much better having you here with me. So thanks for listening. Here at the Just Jim Radio Show, we're here to make a difference. Make a difference in your life, make a difference in the world, make a difference by sharing information, inspiration, something that might awaken or make you more aware or open a window for you to see more clearly your life and what it means, how it can be better. And why just Jim? Well, I have had many roles in my life over the decades that I've been helping people find their truth, their pathway, their purpose, their connection to their relationship to Source, to God, to Spirit, to find the pathway they want to walk. Currently, I'm the pastor at Sarasota Center of Light, Reverend Jim, and about a year and a half or so ago, I started just saying, oh, nope, just Jim, just Jim. What should I call you? Oh, just Jim, just Jim. Started writing it on the board for classes, and when the radio show came up, it became the title of the radio show. And because it's about being able to talk about things that you can take into your life, just as you are, just Jim, just Bob, just Sarah. It doesn't matter. It's all about just being who we are and being real with that and in that. So inspiration, information, a little fun, different formats, interviews, conversations, questions and answers. Today I'm going to take a little bit of an approach that's different than I do with my discussion type shows and interview type shows, and not challenge you, but invite you to consider taking a closer look through a conversation, yes, but questions that'll have you try to find some answers that make a difference for you. And I want to approach this from a different place than I usually do. So today we're going to be talking about riding the storm out. For those of you who are a similar age to me, you'll recognize that as a title of a song. And I was inspired to share this literally as a result of a storm we went through in our area a few days ago. And because of this whole, being in our homes and being where we are and how we are together, there was this kind of solitudinal or isolated experience of a storm that maybe I don't normally do. We were doing some painting on our deck at home, and we were doing some things in the yard. And so I was paying attention to the radar like I frequently do to see what might be coming. And so I was aware that it was, and I'm grateful for that because it was really an interesting experience. Because as you realize, and today we have the technology to see on radar that it is coming, when it's coming, forecasts. We joke about how the weather forecasts sometimes are accurate and they're not. But as the storm is coming, there's a certain dynamic. There's this like anticipation of it. It's like the wind starts shifting, the temperature shifts, the barometric pressure, clouds start to move differently, they change color. There's this whole coming of the storm kind of experience. And so as I was sitting in a more darkened room than usual as a result of the clouds covering the sun that's always shining behind it, you've heard that before, I could feel that storm coming and begin to arrive. Very similar to how we've seen this pandemic hearing it from a distance in another country, in other countries, and the wave, so to speak, as it made its way closer to home, the storm started coming in. So there's anticipation of what it might bring or how it might affect us. And then as the storm arrives, the wind picks up even more, the rain starts to come, the lightning frequently, and the thunder. There's the whole experience of the storm as it is happening. Very different than as it's coming. Now it's here and it's happening. Like it has been in every country and across the planet for humanity and the world. And the storm then makes its way through whatever area it is moving through, to whatever degree that storm is bringing what it does, and it passes. It begins to move out. You hear the wind slow and the rain slow, and the lightning and the thunder become more distant, and there's a whole nother experience of it leaving. Kind of like the cycles of life, and this is like a long, drawn out, powerful cycle, this pandemic, this virus that is making its way through our world. It's on a much larger scale than a storm would be in one of our areas. It's like the cycles of life. They come, they're here, they go. And this storm that seems to have happened to us, I believe on some level we've created to a certain degree. I don't mean like called upon ourselves or a curse or a punishment. That's not where I'm coming from at all. Things needed to change, and I believe that sometimes in our world, certain situations and situations occur to bring that about. Maybe somewhere within us or at a higher level or subconsciously, things weren't working and it needed to be disrupted like a storm comes through. So we have this place we're in. Everybody's in a different place. It was on its way. We could feel it coming. We tried to prepare. We scrambled. We, ran out of a lot of things we thought we needed to have. We panicked. It was a panic-demic as it was coming, and the lightning started to crash, and the thunder and the rain, and we were trying to find our umbrellas and our raincoats and figure out what to do with taking care and protecting ourselves. And then we're in it. And you know how sometimes when you're in a storm, once it's here, it's like, okay, it's raining and it's thundering, but it's been doing that. So it's like something you kind of almost, to a certain degree, not if it's a hurricane or something like that, but I mean, if it's a storm, you're kind of get used to it. You kind of, in fact, the rain coming down can feel calming to a certain degree as long as the lightning is interrupting it too much. And sometimes the lightning can be exciting if we're not, caught off guard by it or shocked by it. And so we can be in a storm. We can be in the middle of this. We can move through it, its evolution, and get accustomed to it, even though we're having to change our way of being and our distancing and how we protect ourselves and how we stay clean and clear and that kind of thing. And as it's moving through and moving on, which is the hope that we've all been responsible enough to be able to create, it will have brought the rain, and it will have brought the thunder and the lightning. And it is my hope that as it has been here and it's been raining down upon us, because the rain is quite interesting. The rain comes, it has multiple purposes. For me, I believe the rain of this pandemic, the storm coming through, the winds of change are occurring. The winds of change of the storm, giving us a chance to have what has been, like the debris or the dust that's settled or the way it is, gets stirred and cleared and carried away. And we have to look at it differently. Same with the rain. The rain comes down and it's like a baptism. Baptism sounds like sin. Sin's basically a mistake. If we've got the waters coming down and cleansing, nothing's a mistake because we're all perfect. You've heard all these statements made, but as the rain comes and cleanses and clears and takes that surface of debris and dust away, it reveals a more fertile place for new birth and new life. And at the same time, the wind clears a place for the rain to cleanse and then to bring its nurturing and nourishment. And it's up to us, the seeds we're going to plant in a cleared, fertile, moist ground receptive to rebirth, renewal, new life. So as we're riding the storm out, as we're in these stages of it having come and we've experienced it and evolving out of it, let us recognize that as the rain falls, we are each a drop of that rain, and the accumulation of the waters together as one. Each our individual expression from our heights falling to the earth, as we do here, bringing our expression into our earthly experience, and yet we're together as one. The drops may look independent from one another, but they're a part of the collective of the rain that comes. We can look at how that feels to each and every one of us and see how we can cleanse and clear from our lives and bring nurturing nourishment to our lives to create a more fertile soil within which we can begin to plant seeds at this time that we can bring into birth or into renewal or back into our lives as we evolve out after the storm passes. We are each a sun ray of the sun. Even with the storm going on, we know behind the clouds, the sun is always shining. The sun will come out tomorrow. I won't sing. I'm not good at it. I'll just keep talking. But we're all a sun ray. We're all an individualized, like, reflection of the ray of the sun as it, again, from the highest point of the collective, of the life-giving energy, the warmth, the energy of the sun shining down upon. And as the clouds part and the storm passes, that light shines upon the fertile earth where the seeds are planted to urge its birth. It's breaking through its husk. It's reaching from its confines of the darkness, the place of solitude, of isolation, independent from life, and yet it is the very catalyst of life, of change, of bringing new life into the world. And so our light shines brightly upon the seed we have planted in the fertile soil of our lives that we can discover and choose to be and become during this time of evolving through and out of the storm and back into the world. And we are both the rain, the wind, the light, the life-giving energy, the illumination of the sun, the rain, the winds, even the lightning that sometimes can strike and stir and